Some persons feel that it is not quite proper to visualize for things. It's too material, they say. But material form is necessary for the self-recognition of spirit from the individual standpoint. And this is the means through which the creative process is carried forward. Therefore, far from matter being an illusion and something that ought not to be, as some metaphysical teachers have taught, matter is the necessary channel for the self-differentiation of spirit. However, it is not my desire to lead you into lengthy and tiresome scientific reasoning in order to remove the mystery of visualization and to put it upon a logical foundation. Naturally, each individual will do this in his own way. My only wish is to point out to you the smoothest way I know, which is the road on which Troward guides me. I feel sure you will conclude, as I have, that the only mystery in connection with visualizing is the mystery of life taking form, governed by unchangeable and easily understood laws. We all possess more power and greater possibilities than we realize, and visualizing is one of the greatest of these powers. It brings other possibilities to our observation. When we pause to think for a moment, we realize that for a cosmos to exist at all, it must be the outcome of a cosmic mind, which binds all individual minds to a certain generic unities of action, thereby producing all things as realities and nothing as illusions. If you will take this thought of Troward's and meditate upon it without prejudice, you will surely realize that concrete material form is an absolute necessity of the creative process. Also, that matter is not an illusion, but a necessary channel through which life differentiates itself. If you consider matter in its right order as the polar opposite to spirit, you will not find any antagonism between them. On the contrary, together they constitute one harmonious whole. And when you realize this, you feel, in your practice of visualizing, that you are working from cause to effect, from beginning to finish. In reality, your mental picture is the specialized working of the originating spirit. One could talk for hours on purely scientific lines, showing, as Troward says, that the raw material for the formation of the solar systems is universally distributed throughout all space. Yet investigation shows that while the heavens are studded with millions of suns, there are spaces that show no signs of cosmic activity. This being true, there must be something which started cosmic activity in certain places, while passing over others in which the raw material was equally available. At first thought, one might attribute the development of cosmic energy to the etheric particles themselves. Upon investigation, however, we find this to be mathematically impossible in a medium which is equally distributed throughout space, for all its particles are in equilibrium. Therefore, no one particle possesses in itself a greater power of originating motion than the other. Thus we find that the initial movement, though working in and through the particles of primary substance, is not the particles themselves. It is this something we mean when we speak of spirit. The same power that brought universal substance into existence will bring your individual thought or mental picture into physical form. There is no difference of kind in the power. The only difference is a difference of scale. The power and the substance themselves are the same. Only in working out your mental picture it has transferred its creative energy from the universal to the scale of the particular, and is working in the same unfailing manner from its specific center, your mind, according to the most generally accepted conception of the law of cause. Cause and effect. A thought, or mental picture, is the cause, and the physical condition is the effect. Troward tells us that this is only partly true. He says that the physical condition is as much a cause of the mental condition as the mental condition is the cause of the physical. From one point of view, the physical condition is the projection of the mental image, while from another point of view, the mental condition is the projection of the physical image, so that we are thus brought to the conception of a perpetual interaction between the two. The physical body is the instrument through which the mind works, and the conditions of the body may react upon the mind. At the same time, the mind can react upon the body. Each is therefore both cause and effect. There is thus a continual reciprocal action and reaction between the mental and physical worlds. And in proportion as we see this clearly, we shall more and more cease to think of things as hard and fast realities apart from consciousness, and shall realize that the relation between them and consciousness is that of a reciprocal action. This conception is in line with the teaching of modern psychology, which shows us how suggestion works. Suggestion works both ways. A physical stimulus will produce a mental image, and a mental image will produce a physical condition. The relation between them is reciprocal. When you clearly grasp this, you will see that it opens up a most important field of thought. For if it is true that every mental state is a cause of a physical condition, it is equally true that every physical condition is the cause of a mental state. Therefore, if you desire to produce a certain physical condition, you can do so by first producing the corresponding mental state. If you desire health, then picture health. If you desire ease and freedom, then picture ease and freedom. If you desire prosperity, picture prosperity. On the other hand, if you desire to produce a certain mental state, you can do so by assuming the corresponding physical condition. If you desire to feel strong, then assume the physical attitude of strength. If you desire to feel happy, then assume the physical attitude of happiness. If you desire to feel confident, then assume the physical attitude of confidence. In this way, the physical reacts upon the mental, just as the mental reacts upon the physical. Our whole physical mechanism is modified by this mental image. This is the true meaning of the saying that faith without works is dead. Works are the outward expression of faith, and without the outward expression, the inward power is not set in motion. If you would feel the joy of living, then act joyously. If you would feel the thrill of strength, then act strong. If you would feel the exhilaration of freedom, then act free. By acting the part you desire to realize, you call forth the corresponding mental state, and the two together, the mental state and the physical action, produce the condition desired. The operation of a mental picture is like the planting of a seed in the ground. When a farmer plants seed, he has faith that it will grow. He does not dig it up every day to see whether it is growing. He simply trusts that the creative power of nature is at work. On the same way, when you have impressed a mental picture upon your mind, you must trust that the creative power of the universe is working to bring it into form. You must not keep digging it up by doubting, or by wondering why it does not appear at once. You must not keep changing your picture. If you do, it will not have time to take root and grow. Give your mental picture time to establish itself. Hold it steadily and faithfully in your mind. In this way, it becomes a mold into which the creative energy pours itself and takes form. Remember that every mental picture you form is the seed which will bring forth its own kind. Do not waste your time in planting seeds of fear, worry, or failure. Plant only the seeds of success, happiness, and health. Just as surely as the farmer reaps what he sows, so will you. Therefore, sow wisely and reap wisely. The greatest mistake you can make is to think that your mental picture is only imagination. It is more than imagination. It is the creative power of the universe working through you. The word Lord, as used in the Bible, means law. It does not refer to any particular being or person. It means the law of life. When you worship the Lord, you are simply recognizing, reverencing, and obeying the law of your own being. This law is the law of cause and effect, the law of mind in action. It is the law that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It is the law that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. To worship the Lord, then, is to understand and obey this law. It is to recognize that your thought is the cause of every condition in your life, and that by controlling your thought you control the effect. When you understand this, you cease to worship blindly. You no longer beg or supplicate, hoping that some power outside of yourself will hear and answer. Instead, you reverence the law by obeying it. You obey it by thinking right, speaking right, acting right. This is true worship. It is not emotion, it is not superstition, it is not ritual. It is knowledge of law applied in daily living. But your future is also the result of your present thinking. It is using your imagination to form right mental pictures and holding them steadily until they materialize. No force, no being, no person is responsible for your destiny. When you realize that every word you speak is charged with power, you will begin to see the importance of choosing your words carefully. Each word you utter sets up a vibration in the invisible substance which surrounds you, and these vibrations persist, producing results according to their character. If you constantly speak of limitation, lack, or failure, you set into motion forces that bring about limitation, lack, and failure. On the other hand, if you speak words of faith, strength, and success, you set into motion forces that bring strength and success. This is why affirmations are so powerful. By affirming the good you desire, you are planting seeds in the creative substance of the universe. These affirmations are not mere idle words. They are commands to the law, directing it to produce for you what you have decreed. To bring the power in your word into action, you must first clear your mind of fear and doubt. Then you must speak your word with confidence and determination, knowing that it will not return void. The law is no respecter of persons. It will respond to your word just as surely as it responds to the word of any other person. Therefore, guard well your words. Speak only that which you want to see manifested in your life. Deny failure. Affirm success. Deny sickness. Affirm health. Deny limitation. Affirm abundance. In this way, you are worshiping the law by obeying it, and you are bringing into action the power of your word.